Hello everyone. In our previous class, we have already derived the population of impurity levels expression. That is, what is the population density of donor level as well as acceptor level. And today, using the same expression, we are going to derive the expression for extrinsic carrier concentration. So let's get started. So here we are going to derive the extrinsic carrier concentration of n-type semiconductor, and if you proceed in the same manner, you can also derive the carrier concentration of p-type semiconductor. So let us consider a pure n-type semiconductor and let us find the concentration that is contributed by donors alone. We know that generally every n-type material has some amount of acceptors in it, and also p-type material has some amount of donors in it, because there is a practical limitation in growing 100% pure crystal. So that is to be kept in mind, but for simplicity we are considering just pure n-type semiconductor. In that case, we know that the concentration of naturally present impurities, it may be with respect to defects or anything, that is going to be very less when compared to the concentration of impurities doped, because intentionally we are adding the impurities for our application purposes, and that concentration may vary, but when compared with the naturally present impurities, it is very much higher. So again, we need to consider here the neutrality condition, which is nothing but N plus Na minus is equals to P plus Nd plus. And as we have considered here pure n-type semiconductor, we can just neglect Na minus, which is nothing but the population density of ionized acceptors. Here there is no acceptor, so it is just neglected, which gives us this expression, and the subscript I for P is representing just the impurity. Also we know that N is approximately equal to Nd minus Nd naught. That is nothing but the total number of available donors minus the total number of neutral donors, that is nothing but unionized donors, which will give you the amount of donors present. And also we know that Nd naught, which is the population density of neutral donors, is equal to the concentration or population of the donor level itself, and the expression for donor level we have already derived in our previous class and just substituting it. And then for simplifying it further, we are taking the LCM, that is multiplying denominator with the first term and minus the second term whole divided by the same term. Then Nd minus Nd are going to cancel out, and we are remaining with Nd into exponential of Ed minus Ef divided by kBt whole divided by 1 plus exponential of Ed minus Ef by kBt. And again further simplification, that is dividing the numerator and denominator by exponential of Ed minus Ef by kBt will give you N is equals to capital Nd divided by exponential of minus of Ed minus Ef by kBt plus 1. Let us call this as equation number 1. So this is for n-type, which is giving you N value, that is the carrier concentration. And also we know another expression which we have already derived in intrinsic carrier concentration derivation, that is the number of electrons present in conduction band. N is equals to 2 times of Me kBt divided by 2 pi h cross square whole raised to 3 by 2 into exponential of Ef minus Eg divided by kBt. And also we had concluded that the exponential term, which is depending on temperature, is dominant, and the other term T raised to 3 by 2 it is just taken to be as a constant within n of c, where n of c is 2 times of me kBt divided by 2 pi h cross square whole raised to 3 by 2. And if we rearrange, we get the expression for exponential of EF by kBt, which is equal to n divided by n of c into exponential of Eg by kBt. This step we have done so that we can substitute the value of exponential of EF by kBt in our equation number 1. So next we need to substitute it in equation number 1 and simplify it further. So the exponential of minus Ed by kBt is kept as it is, and instead of exponential of EF by kBt, we have just substituted from equation number 2, that is n by n of c into exponential of Eg by kBt. Then bringing the denominator on LHS side and simplifying it further. And for simplification, we are going to consider again conduction band and valence band. Valence band, just take it as EV, energy, and conduction band having energy EC. And there is a donor level because we have considered n-type semiconductor, which is pure. Here Eg is nothing but the minimum energy difference between the top of the valence band and bottom of the conduction band. And if you consider this gap, that is Eg minus Ed, will give you another small energy difference, which we can consider it as E small d, just for simplicity, and that value we are putting back in our equation, so that the equation is simplified as n is multiplied within the bracket. It will be n plus n square by n of c into exponential of E small d divided by kBt minus n d is equals to 0. So this is a kind of equation which is quadratic in nature. We can clearly see it. And for simplifying this equation, we are taking capital X as exponential of Ed by kBt divided by n of c, that is the coefficient of n square, so that we get the expression like x square plus something like 5x plus some constant is equals to 0, just for simplifying this quadratic equation. So moving forward, we get the expression reduced like x into n square plus n minus nd is equals to 0. And if we need to simplify this equation, we know the formula, that is n is equals to, or x is equals to minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. And by using the Sridhar's formula, we can just find out what is the root of this equation. That's why n will be equal to minus b. b is nothing but 1 here. c is minus 1, whereas a is x. So minus 1 plus or minus root of minus 1 whole square, a root of 1 square, that is b square, minus 4ac, that will be 4x into minus nd divided by 2a will be 2x. So if you simplify it further, here for simplicity we are just considering one root, that is minus 1 plus of square root of that term divided by 2x. And if we need to solve this, we need to rationalize the denominator, otherwise we can't solve it further. So for rationalizing, we are just multiplying by its conjugate, that is minus 1 minus of the root term divided by the same term. So it is something like a plus b into a minus b, which will be equal to a square minus b square. So minus 1 whole square minus of the rooted term whole square divided by 2x into minus 1 minus of root term. So if you simplify it further, you will get 1 minus square root and square are going to cancel out, which gives you 1 plus 4nd into x, or 4x into nd divided by, I have taken out minus 1 term outside the bracket, which will give you this expression. So 1 minus 1 will get cancelled out, and we are getting numerator as 4ndx again divided by the same denominator, and we can observe that x are going to cancel out, and 2 and with 4 we are remaining with 2. Minus and minus sign are going to cancel out, so that we are remaining with 2nd divided by 1 plus square root of 1 plus 4x nd. So I am taking that denominator term in the numerator and showing it as a whole inverse. And after that, we need to substitute back the value of capital X, which is nothing but exponential of ed by kbt divided by n of c. So finally, we are getting the expression for extrinsic carrier concentration, that is carrier concentration of n-type extrinsic semiconductor, which is equal to 2 times of nd, that is total number of available donors, into 1 plus square root of 1 plus 4nd divided by n of c into exponential of ed by kbt whole raised to minus 1. So this is the expression for extrinsic carrier concentration, and in similar manner you can derive for p-type semiconductor also. Then here we are again observing the temperature dependence, and in order to understand the temperature dependence, we are going to consider different cases, mainly 3 cases. At low temperature, what happens to n, at high temperature, and at further higher temperature. So let's consider one by one. First, at low temperature. At low temperature, we can say that T is very less, and the term under the root, that is 4nd into exponential of ed by kbt divided by n of c, is very much greater than 1. Because T is less, it is in the denominator of the exponential, so 1 by T is going to be greater. Again, exponential of a greater number is again very much greater. That's why the whole term is going to be very much greater than 1, and that's why we can just say 1 can be neglected from the root. Then again there is a 1 term that is also can be neglected. So n will be equal to 2nd as it is, divided by 2 times of root of nd by root of n of c into exponential of ed by kbt. And this exponential term I have taken in the numerator. Root nd and nd are going to cancel out, giving us n is equals to square root of nd into n of c into exponential of minus ed by kbt. So this is the expression for, it is square root, so it will be exponential of minus ed by 2 kbt. So remember that, and then from this result we can just make some conclusions, that is n, which is the total or extrinsic carrier concentration for n-type semiconductor, is reduced for low temperature, and this is the expression what we have got. And from this equation we can say that large number of donors stay unionized, and the electron density is very small in conduction band, because only when the donors are ionized, then only the number of electrons in conduction band are going to increase. But at low temperature, ionization is very less, or even you can say no ionization at very low temperatures. That's why the conduction electron density is very small, or very less also you can say. So what does it mean? It means that the electrons are freezed with the atom itself. That is, they are bounded with the atom or donor atom, because they are not ionized, they are not far away from it so that it can just jump or ionize into the conduction band. And that's why this temperature range is called as freeze out range, because of the binding of the electron with the atom itself. And further conclusion which can be made by comparison, when you compare this equation with that of the intrinsic carrier concentration equation, we can observe that both are almost the same, but constant if you keep it outside, instead of ED we are having EG. That is, in intrinsic carrier concentration we have energy gap term, whereas here we are having ED, that is EG minus ED, that is E capital D term. And from this we can say that both depend exponentially on temperature, and exponential term is going to dominate, which is showing you the temperature dependence. N of C is also temperature dependent, so that the other term square root of Nd into N of C is again temperature dependent. However, the exponential term is going to dominate. So when you compare it, we can say that Nd is very much Nd is greater than Ni, because energy gap, if you consider, it is very much greater when compared to Ed, because Ed is Eg minus E capital D. And from this only we can say large carrier concentration in N-type material is present when compared to intrinsic one, because negative signs are there. And from this result only we can say, that is, number of electrons which can move to the conduction band are increased, which increases the electrical conductivity when you go for the application purposes. So the conductivity again can be tuned with respect to the requirements. This is the case 1, that is at low temperature. But what about at higher temperature? So at higher temperature we say that 4 times of Nd by N of C exponential of minus Ed by kBt is very much lesser than 1, because temperature is increased, means the other term is going to, exponential term is going to decrease. And when you substitute this in our main equation, that is extrinsic carrier concentration equation, we get N approximately equal to Nd, because we are having N is equals to 2Nd divided by 1 plus square root of 1 plus this term. This term is very much less than 1, means this term itself can be neglected and we are getting just root 1. So 1 plus root 1 is nothing but 2. 2 term are going to get cancelled out in the denominator and the numerator. We are left with only capital Nd, which means that number of electrons in the conduction band at high temperature will be equal to number of available donors. So this is the conclusion at high temperature, which means all the donors are ionized. So there is no donor atom present in the donor level. All are ionized and they are present in the conduction band, increasing the conductivity of the semiconductor whichever we have taken. And that's why this temperature range is known as saturation range or exhaustion range, because it is saturated. You can't again ionize the donors, because already all the donors are ionized and present in the conduction band itself, and we are not left with any donors present in the donor level. So saturation has come, and this temperature range is called as saturation range of carriers. So this is at high temperature. Again, let us say we have increased the temperature more and more, that is at still higher temperature. What is going to happen? We know till here all the donors are already ionized. So as all donors are already ionized, on account of saturation, the concentration of conduction electron in conduction band will be contributed by valence band only. That is, now the fundamental transition is going to take place. That is, electrons in the valence band transits or just comes to the conduction band and increases in the electron density in conduction band, increasing the electrical conductivity. So this is what happening at different temperature, which explains the temperature dependence on extrinsic carrier concentration. So based on these different three cases, we can plot graph, that is what happens to carrier concentration as a function of temperature. First, let us consider a graph of ln n as a function of 1 by T. So first, we are going to get the graph something like this. So I am going to divide this graph into three parts. First part is representing high temperature, second part is representing intermediate temperature, and third part is representing low temperature, because along x-axis we are having inverse of temperature. At high temperature, we know that it is intrinsic in nature, that's why we say it as intrinsic region, whereas intermediate is saturation range or saturation region, whereas next is the freeze out range, because it is the lowest temperature, and we can observe the nature something like this. That is, initially it is going to decrease, then saturates, that is where N is equal to Nd. So if you take the ln of it, it is going to remain constant itself. Then in freeze out range, again it is going to decrease, and we get finally this graph. Main thing you need to remember here is the slope of the two regions. Saturation range, you have the constancy, that is saturation we can observe. In intrinsic region, the slope of the curve is Eg by 2 kb. And in freeze out range, we have the slope as Ed by 2 kb. And we also know that Eg is greater when compared to Ed. That's why slope in intrinsic region is greater when compared to the slope in freeze out region. So this is the difference needed to be considered. So next, if you just plot a graph of N, that is extrinsic carrier concentration as a function of temperature, we are getting just the reverse graph of it. That is, first part is the freeze out range with respect to lower temperature, then temperature increases giving you the saturation range, and finally you are having intrinsic region. Here, as the temperature is going on increasing, slowly the electrons which are bound to the donor atoms, which is in freeze out range, they are going to just ionize into the conduction band. That's why N is going to increase, that is the number of electrons in the conduction band slowly goes on increasing, and finally it reaches a temperature which is the higher temperature where all the donors will be ionized, explaining about the saturation range. And N is going to be approximately equal to capital Nd, that is total number of available donors, and after that whatever contribution will be there will be totally intrinsic, and the electrons from the valence band are going to come and sit in the conduction band, which is responsible for increase in extrinsic carrier concentration. So this is a graph for N as a function of temperature. Next, we can again plot a graph of energy as a function of 1 by T. Here we need to consider the energy levels, that is EV represents the energy of the valence band, ED as we have considered n-type semiconductor, it is the energy of the donor level, whereas EC is the energy of conduction band. Again I have divided in 3 parts, and this is the type of graph what we are getting. First is with respect to intrinsic region, and for intrinsic semiconductors we know that Fermi energy is going to be at the middle of valence band and conduction band, that is at the center of the energy gap where we can observe EI. So in intrinsic region energy will be, that is Fermi energy as a function of temperature, will be at the center of EG. As the temperature goes on decreasing here, because we have just considered 1 by T, that is at higher temperature we have the saturation range, and finally in freeze out range all the electrons are bound to the atom itself. That's why the Fermi energy is going to be intermediate of the conduction band and the donor level, which we have already discussed while explaining n-type and p-type semiconductor, where the Fermi level is going to be just in between the donor level and the conduction band in n-type semiconductor. So this is about how we are going to interpret the result from extrinsic carrier concentration, and in the same way we can just explain the extrinsic carrier concentration for p-type semiconductor. Just that instead of donor level we are going to consider the acceptor level. So this is for today's session. Thank you.